You look there.
Okay.
Yeah. Barkha, so what role are you playing? It's such a unique role, and it is the talk of the town.
Talk of the town for all the weird reasons, but I'm actually playing the role of a transgender eunuch, like we call it, and हमारे समाज में जिसको हिजड़ा बोलते हैं, and the character of that society, that strata of transgenders or eunuchs, जो हिजड़ा word ही जो एक गाली होती है, so that is the character that I'm playing. My character name is Radha, and yeah, it's a eunuch, एक हिजड़ा जो अपना I think पेट पालने के लिए is into prostitution, living on the streets, चौल में रहना, गंदी सड़क पर सोना, बट जस्ट अ काइंड ऑफ कैरेक्टर जिनको देख कर ही आपको लगेगा कि दूर रहो, मुझे देखना ही नहीं है. दैट्स अ कैरेक्टर आई एम प्लेइंग.
So different from the other films you've done earlier, no?
Very, very different, I think. I think as an actor, I have, I would say it is, if not the most, but definitely one of the most challenging characters that I've had to play. And one of the darkest characters that I have played. And dark not because my character is dark or it's negative or villainous, but the society in which they live is so dark that it's really a very, very dark, and it's black. This character, film का नाम सफ़ेद है, पर ये character I think जिस तरीके से हमारी society में they're looked upon, they're looked as black, which is darkness, and छुपना, I think they want to hide and society wants to hide them. So yeah.
किस तरह से की तैयारी रोल की?
I think the first step was to physically look the part, and yes, there's been a lot of conversation about a certain statement that I made, and this is not to defend what I said when I said, how can I look like a transgender? I'm too pretty. Anyways, yeah, pretty in the way that I'm female, I'm feminine, I'm extremely petite in terms of body structure. And there were references that were shown to us that this is the kind of character you have to play. And those are the references that you look at those pictures and you're like, oh my god, you're scared. In fact, हमारी फिल्म में भी एक लाइन है where Meera's character says कि मुझे हिजड़ों से डर लगता है. We are showing that strata of transgenders जिन्हें देखकर आपको डर लगे. So I think in context of that, to make me look the part was definitely challenging, and that was the first step. But it was the belief of the director that as an actor, he thought I would be able to perform the part, and looking the part was his thing completely. So we had to work a lot on that, whether it was picking up cheap makeup, because obviously the character I played will not be wearing expensive brands. So we picked up cheap makeup from the streets, cheap clothes, went street shopping and picked up random things. So to physically look the part was very important. Also, I think in Bollywood and even where the way transgenders are portrayed mostly is negative, villainous, loud. But we were trying to show a different side to them, and thus it was very important for us to work physically on the character. And yeah, but I think we cracked it, because when I saw the film and I looked at myself and I was like, oh my god, is this really me? I was so proud of myself. So yeah.
What kind of love you share with this widow? With who you share? Do you share love on screen?
Oh, I don't share love on screen. The love story is Abhay's, who's playing Chandi. So Abhay and Meera, it is their love story. I am somebody who's very close to Chandi, and I am somebody who's like a mirror to him, who tries to show him the reality, because somewhere for him to fall in love with a woman is, it's such a unique thing, it's such a unheard of thing, that I think I am one person who shows him the reality and says, hey, do you know who we are? So I am like the reality check of his life.
पिछली बारी मैंने आपका कुछ देखा था, फिल्म थी या वेब सीरीज़ थी मुझे याद नहीं है, पर आपका रोल जो था काफ़ी अलग था, एंड यू गॉट अ वेरी गुड रिव्यू. तो आपका मतलब आर यू हैबिचुअल ऑफ सिलेक्टिंग डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ रोल?
Well, I I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting roles like that. See, because I don't know. Maybe I just don't fall into that typical fair, beautiful, kind of this thing. Maybe finally the fact that I'm slightly dusky complexioned because I have been so. Um, I wouldn't say. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of racism, in our country even today. Considering that Indians are mostly dark complexion people, except for the North Indians. But yeah, I face that so much that I think now it's actually working in my this thing. That I'm not the conventional fair, good-looking, whatever. I think I'm different. So I'm also getting different roles because now there is different content being made which wasn't there earlier. So I think it's good if I'm getting played different roles.
तो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में भी सफ़ेद गोरा और काला होता रहेगा नहीं? Even had you lost any role?
Yeah, I'm sure I
But
have.
you're fair enough.
No, it's just the makeup.
No.
I'm broadly that's why I'm not fair, like the North Indian fair. So there are things where sometimes they'll say it's a Punjabi character, so
Fair.
then you know that okay, Punjabi is essentially fair and sharp features and all of that. I get calls for Bengali characters, even though I'm not a Bengali, I'm a North Indian, but I get calls for a Bengali character or a South Indian character or something like that. So yeah, I face that like all the time.
So do you consider looks are not deceptive in the industry?
Looks are
Or
not.
it is deceptive?
See, looks are deceptive or not, I think in the industry when you say you're portraying a character, right? And I think as long as you can portray that character, I think that should say it all. Because there are North Indians, I'm a North Indian, like I said, I'm dusky. I have met South Indians and Bengalis who
Yeah,
are
so
fair,
yeah.
So it's really difficult to say that a person should look a certain way. But yes, there is a certain generalization of the way certain people look, and thus coming back to my statement, which became revolutionary. Again, when you think of the word hijra, right? And I'm using this word not as disrespect, but because this is something that we've used very much in our film. When you think of a hijra, what do you think of? You just think of a not pleasant looking face or a man who's dressed as a woman with loud makeup, maybe begging on the streets or maybe doing things like that. So it's a general opinion that this is what people like that would probably look, right? Is that true? No, there are transgenders who are beautiful. I have met one during the shoot who I thought was beautiful, and I thought was more beautiful than a lot of women that I have met. So, but there is a certain generalization in society. Unfortunately, I fall into that generalization. She must be Bengali, or she must be South Indian, or she can play that character. So yeah, we face it all the time.
So people are very judgmental also.
Judgmental, racists, sexists, I think, patriarchal. There are all sorts that make up this world, isn't it? So yeah.
So your journey has been comfortable in this male-dominated Bollywood industry?
Well, if I speak just for myself, I would say yes. I mean, I always say I'm very privileged that I come from a very strong family background, an extremely supportive, educated family who's always given me my sense of self-worth. So I've never had to look for it outside, and I'm very, very grateful to my family for that. But otherwise, I have to say, being in this industry for almost 20 years now, this industry can break you. It can break you into a million pieces that you'll never be able to put back together. But yes, there are all sorts of people. I'm just really grateful. I have the family that I do, who's always been there no matter what. So for me, my journey has been relatively easy. I don't have struggle stories of how I didn't have food to eat, or I didn't have money, or how I slept on the road. And I don't mean to say that those people it's just a story. They have been through all of that. Fortunately for me, I didn't. But we've all had our own share of struggles. So.
No, but refreshing your memories back, you could tell us the struggle of getting the first break. How difficult it must have been.
See that also.
And did you have to go through all the odds 20 years before?
Oh, see that also, unfortunately I don't have any controversial stories to talk about, because my first break also happened in the most simple way, that there was an audition and I went for it, and I made it. So that's how it was as simple and easy as that for me. And believe me, this was the first audition I had given. So the first time I auditioned for something, I made it. Hence, that made me believe, okay, maybe this is what I was meant to do. But yes, as it is for everybody, and I think even for the top heroines of our country today, from one project to another, it is a struggle, because you want to do better, you want to do more, you want to explore, you want to show your versatility. That is a struggle. You know, breaking out of typecast, breaking out of television was a struggle for me. I had to quit television for a couple of years before I could enter the web space or do films, for no fault of mine, but because that's the way the makers looked at it. So, but those struggles, I would say, are very, very small compared to what people actually go through. But yeah.
It's a big no-no to television, no?
Sorry?
A big no-no to television?
Oh no, absolutely not. I always wanted to be a television actor. My dream of coming to Bombay was to become a television actor, not a film star. And I fulfilled that dream. And right now also, I mean, I've never said no to television. If there is something really great, I would definitely do it. I am where I am today because of TV, and I'll always owe it to it.
सफ़ेद के बाद में क्या कर रही हैं?
सफ़ेद के बाद में क्या कहना है? सफ़ेद भी एक रंग होता है, I think, which is our tagline. But I think essentially, like I've spoken about my character, there's a lot of darkness in the film. But the reason I think we have kept the name Safed is to show that even in the darkness, there is some purity. And that's what the film is all about. And I really want people to watch it and see that how even in the darkest night, there's a line from a song that even in the darkest night, a prayer will be heard. So, so yeah, I mean, just watch the darkness of Safed.
Future
So-
projects?
हाँ,
Future projects, I'm currently working on a film. It's a very small part of a very big film, but I'm doing that, and I'm also doing a web show for Geo Cinemas, all of which should be starting in January next year.
Question mark on that, would you elaborate?
Sorry?
You said I'm doing a film. That,
Yeah.
what is, why the question mark?
No, I'm doing a film that is
Elaborate
it's
what
a
is
small
the film
part in
title?
a big film. It's a film called Kesari Veer. Yeah, I guess you'll hear about it in some time.
Akshay Kumar, eh?
No, Akshay's not in it. It has Sunil Shetty, it has Vivek Oberoi, it has Suraj Pancholi.
Oh.
These are the three people that I know. Like I said, I'll take a very small part, but yeah. And it's a historical
Who's the director?
drama. Prince. I was thinking whether I should say the name or not, but I might as well. His name is Prince.
It's shot? It's
No,
complete?
we're still in the process of shooting it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Doing films. And the other OTT project?
Oh, that is for Geo Cinemas. It's like a supernatural kind of a show. See, again, different. You're right, I am getting different.
yeah.
Good, no? Yeah.
I'm just going through browsing through a OTT platform, and there are so many shows of your. So I thought, my God, ये लड़की तो कुछ अलग ही करता दिखती है. So the
Yeah.
reason I had asked you the question.
That's great.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Barkha.